everyone. What an honor to be here this morning. Looks like the wet monsoon season has finally ended. My name is Sahana Purohit and I have been an Acton resident for more than 15 years. I currently serve on the Acton Finance Committee as well as the steering committee on the League of Women Voters. It's second year in a row we get to raise the Indian national flag at historic Acton Town Hall. Many thanks to Acton Select Board and Acton Town Manager John Mangiarati for moving the request by India Association of Greater Boston to celebrate India's 75th Independence Day by honoring the flags of both our adopted country and the US and India. Many thanks to our legislators, Senator Eldridge and Representative Sina. He said he'll be here, but he's running a little bit late, for being here with us and for their time and support to the Acton Indian community. Proud to live in a diverse, welcoming town. All of us Acton Indian Americans are proud to call Acton our home. This year, Acton is the first town to be kicking off the flag raising endeavor by India Association of Greater Boston. They have this planned in 40 plus other towns and cities throughout the Commonwealth. This flag raising will culminate with a grand gathering and celebration on India's Independence Day at the Hatch Shell in Boston on August 15th. I hope many of you will attend this event. Before we move on with the program, I would like to take a minute to recognize all the Indian Americans in Acton who have stepped up to volunteer their time on boards and committees. These Actonians are an inspiration to many others. In June, we created history in Acton. We elected our youngest and first second-generation Indian American, Himaja Nagireddy, to the Acton Select Board. So proud of you, Himaja, for stepping up to serve Actonians. I'm sorry if I leave anyone out of this list unintentionally. Along with me on the Acton Finance Committee, Isha Ganguly serves as an associate. Shout out to Sukhinder Singh on Acton Planning Board, Dr. Rekha Singh, an associate on the Acton Board of Health, Sunanda Pepela and Leela Ramachandran, who both serve on Acton Diversity, Equity, Inclusivity Committee, Sunanda Sahi on Acton Historical Society, and Gauri Tandon, who recently joined the Board of Directors on AB United Way. Thank you all for giving your time and expertise to make Acton a better place. I'll keep my remarks short. So now I'll introduce you to India Association of Greater Boston President Sanjay Gowda and ask him to say a few words. Sanjay is a senior technology professional currently working for Verizon. He lives in Littleton with his wife and 2 daughters. Sanjay has been actively involved in the Indian community and holds various roles in the local organizations. Sanjay?
Thank you, Sahana. A warm welcome to everyone. My name is Sanjay Gowda and I am a volunteer at IAGB. Thank you all for joining on this special occasion to commemorate India's 75th India's independence. It's a milestone and a special occasion for all of us in many ways. It's a celebration of the largest democracy in the world, in the land of the oldest democracy. Each share diverse culture, pluralistic societies in excuse me, and it's a celebration of the democracy, unity, the diversity. It's a celebration of the friendship both countries share, the values of the liberty, individual liberty, and the economic opportunity. As many of you know, India Association of Greater Boston has been around for about 60 years and has been celebrating India Day in the heart of Boston. Since the pandemic started last year, we started bringing this celebration India Day to the communities where we live in. We did almost 35 plus towns last year, these ceremonies. This year we are doing it about 45 towns. And this is a kickoff event in some way, starting from today all the way to the 15th. On the 15th, we have a grand celebration at the Hash Shell with the grand cultural performances from the talented choreographers and performers in the area, and a grand live concert by the Berklee College of Music as well. And of course, we have the Indian shopping bazaar, and no celebration will complete without food. So we have multiple restaurants bringing the variety of cuisine from all parts of India. So please save the date and please do join us on August 15th at the Hash Shell in Boston. I'm very grateful to the town of Acton, Sahana, and many of you who made this event possible. A special thanks to Senator Jamie Eldridge and everybody who are here and made this event even more special and colorful. The pandemic made us realize the value of freedom. Let this be a reminder for everyone to be more independent, more compassionate, let us respect everyone, be rid of any prejudices, any discrimination of any sort, and let us work together and make progress together. Jai Hind, God bless India and God bless America. Thank you so much.
So now I want IAGP Director Thanu Basu to say a few words. Thanu is a lifelong enthusiast with a go-getter attitude. You just heard her. She has worn many hats. Few to name would be that of a senior recruiting manager, a public school teacher, social worker, orator, dancer, and even coordinator, by virtue of which her ultimate forte has been people skills. She has a passion for serving within and beyond the community through cultural civic duties and people in need. Thanu?
Thank you, Sahana. What a pleasure to see you again, Senator Eldridge, and everybody here. A lot of known faces. A real pleasure to be here. And we could not have asked for a better weather today, right? It's just right. As I call this event, IAGB Pride, raising the flags of India and US, honoring the 75th Indian Independence Day celebrations. As we recognize the COVID-19 pandemic rerouted our paths, having adjusted to various new norms, and has changed how we work, how we think, how we learn, and how we interact. As social distancing guidelines have led to a more virtual existence for a lot of us, both personally and professionally, even as we get vaccinated in phases and still going on, we yet continue our pledge of existence for the foreseeable future. We continue to comply with the guidelines and strive to find safer, low-key ways of celebrating various special milestones, socio-cultural or historic occasions, which are traditionally or historically celebrated in a much larger scale. Last year, in August 2020, we created history by holding successful flag-raising events in over 35 towns and cities by raising and honoring the Indian and US flags in the heart of each town and city with the support of the local town and city officials. On August 15th, 2021, India celebrates her 75th Independence Day, and continuing last year's success story in the current year, 2021, I'm happy to tell you, as Sanjay said, we will be raising the Indian flags and honoring the US flags in over 40 towns and cities across Massachusetts and in New Hampshire to commemorate the momentous occasion. Yes, indeed, we are making history together here today. We are kicking off our 2021 flag raising event right here in Acton. So a huge shout out to all the Actonians for being part of this history. And our 14-day celebration from August 1st to the 14th of honoring the US and Indian flags will culminate into a grand finale cultural event at the Hatch Memorial Shell by the Charles River on August 15th, 3 to 7 p.m. We have fantastic cultural performances, and we have a fantastic concert. Visit our website to learn more about our grand finale event, and over to Sahana to continue on with the celebration here today, which is the first day of our flag hoisting endeavor.
you, Kannan. So next up, I want our Acton resident Vivek Sharma to come on stage to say a few words. Vivek Sharma is currently a partner with a healthcare investment firm and chairman and CEO of a global pharma services company. He has also been a CEO of 3 other global pharma services companies. Vivek and his wife Vandana are actively involved in philanthropic activities through their foundation, contributing towards making sustainable improvements in women empowerment, education, and health. One of their initiatives is working with 10,000 young women in India to help them with their health, education, including higher education and livelihood, to enable them to be independent, to support education causes they recently established. And they also recently established an endowment at Northeastern University. Vivek?
Okay, good morning. Thank you, Sahana. Good to see all of you. And congratulations to everybody on India's 75th Independence Day. I would like to thank the town of Acton and IAGB and the other officials who have made it possible for us to celebrate this amazing occasion. Last year we were all part of this, and again this year even a bigger and better event. And it is an amazing effort to have 40 towns in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts do this. So we are really proud. Thank you, everyone. Why don't we give a big round of applause to the town and the government officials who really allow this to happen. This is a great tradition, and it should actually constantly remind us of the value of independence and the importance of democracy in our society. Mahatma Gandhi once said that our ability to reach unity in diversity will be the test of our civilization. We will measure our success as to how diverse we become and how coherently we live. As immigrants from India, we are all very proud of the values and the culture that we bring, that we carry us, and we are also grateful to this nation and the town that allows us and embraces us with who we are, with how we are, and then make part of the society and the economy that we are all part of. Town allows us to give an opportunity for our kids to go to these beautiful schools. That's why we are here, and gives an opportunity to learn and contribute. All of us came from different parts of the country, and now we call Acton as our home, and have benefited from the ecosystem of this town, including the kids going to these schools, including the support from the town and officials that, and the political representatives that contribute towards the effort. While at town level, Indian communities are doing very well in contributing different aspects of education, town committees, local committees, I'm also very happy to share that across America, Indian companies and Indian immigrants have contributed significantly. With a recent survey, just to give you an example, Indian companies have invested more than $25 billion into US and created 150,000+ jobs. So this is a huge accomplishment by Indian companies and a contribution to the growth of the country that is our home now. And in my view, the success comes with a lot of responsibility on all of us to continue our tradition of giving back to the communities where we live in, and help those in need to build a stronger foundation for our next generation. So my request to all the Indian friends who are here and who are listening and who will listen is to be more actively involved in the communities that you're part of in this country, in whatever way you can help to build a better, stronger society for the future generation. As President Kennedy said on his lines, we should ask not just what our country can do for us, but also what can we do for our adopted country. So Jai Hind and thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. Now I want Senator Eldridge to come up to say a few words. Jamie Eldridge has served as state senator for the Middlesex and Worcester districts since 2009, representing 14 communities in Metro West. He serves as the Senate Chair of the Joint Committee on the Judiciary and the Senate Vice Chair of the Joint Committee on Election Laws. As an activist legislator, Senator Eldridge is the Senate Chair of the Clean Energy, Criminal Justice Reform, Medicare for All, and MBTA caucuses. Senator Eldridge.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Sohana, for inviting me in planning the first celebration of India's Independence Day, 75 years, the first celebration the entire community and the first in the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So very proud that this first celebration for 2021 is happening here in Acton. And wonderful to be here with Representative Danilo Senna, who I know will be giving some remarks a little bit later. And I want to thank Sanjay and Tanu with the Indian Association of Greater Boston for beginning this tradition just a couple years back that now has spread to communities across Massachusetts. And it really does highlight, looking out from where I'm standing, the Indian flag and the American flag, is that it really highlights something that I think is a particularly important issue this year as we have a growing discussion around discrimination and hate towards Asian Americans, is that often still too many Asian Americans are treated as the other, as not being American, and nothing could be further from the truth. And yet celebrations like this today highlight the contributions that Indian Americans have given to Massachusetts. Shout out there. Have given to Massachusetts and to this country for many, many decades. And it's wonderful to see new faces and sort of the next generation of the Indian community that is also beginning to serve and give back to their community. I want to also give a big shout out to Himaja Negareddy for being the first Indian American elected in Acton. Congratulations, it's wonderful. But these contributions are really, I think, particularly special in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is home to one of the largest Indian American populations in the entire country. I know the district I represent, it's one of the largest communities of any Senate district, not just communities like Acton and Boxborough, but now growing in Littleton, Westborough, Northborough, Southborough, Sudbury. So it's really wonderful to see. And as Sanjay highlighted, about the pandemic, is that I think the pandemic has brought all of us together from all over the world. And I think it's really important to highlight the contributions that particularly a lot of Indian Americans in the medical community have given to save, literally tens of thousands of lives in America, but also to remember that the pandemic, unfortunately, continues in the US. I know it continues in India, and we really need to find a way to come together in an even strong and more meaningful way to get past this very troubling time in the world's history. I also just want to highlight that when we talk about contributions of Indian Americans, both in my district and across Massachusetts, I think about biotech, healthcare, government, our great universities, entrepreneurs. I really do want to thank the Indian American constituents in my district for all their incredible contributions. It means so much, and it's giving back to all of us, and that really sends a powerful signal as we're celebrating India's Independence Day. And so with that, I would like to present a citation, and I'd like to present it to Tanu, if I can present it to you. And this is a citation for the Massachusetts State Senate. And it says, "Be it hereby known that the Massachusetts State Senate hereby extends its congratulations to the Indian Association of Greater Boston in recognition of the happy occasion of India's 75th Independence Day. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success." And signed by Senate President Karen Spoka and your state Senator Jamie Eldridge. I'm so honored to represent such a diverse community. Congratulations and happy 75th.
Thank you, Senator Eldridge. So now I call State Rep Dan Sina to come up to say a few words. State Representative, he's the State Representative for the 37th Middlesex District. Dan Sina is the first Brazilian immigrant to be elected to the state legislature in America. Before his election, Dan served as Senator Jamie Eldridge's District Director for 6 years, working to protect immigrant rights, ensure healthcare access, and make progress towards racial justice and climate justice. Now, Dan is continuing the fight on these issues and more in the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Dan?
Thank you, Sunanda, for that nice and warm introduction. I mean, to be the first and also seeing another first here from the town of Acton. We're growing. I think it's so great that we are embracing diversity and we're putting the people that needs to be heard in power, and I think that's great. So what I came here, and I was here last year, and I know back then the governor had said, okay, only 50 people, and now I'm seeing a crowd of over almost 100 here or more, and it's great to see that. When I worked for Senator Eldridge, I really got to know the district, and I know that Acton is growing, and I'm so proud to represent my hometown, because when I moved from Brazil to the United States, Acton was the place where I came and we settled. And seeing our community grow, it means a lot to me. And one of the things that I want to say, that I did a little research here, it was that India declared its independence from Britain on August 15th, 1947. It's kind of early when you think about it, of so many years of colonialism, right? And the first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, pardon me if I'm mispronouncing his name, but raised the Indian national flag above the Lahori Gate at the Red Fort in Delhi, which is why flag raising has become an Independence Day tradition. This year, 75th Independence Day celebrated, which is, I think it's very meaningful, and we really need to be here celebrating. One of the things that I spoke last year, and I wanted to just say it again, is the meaning that the flag has with its different colors, and it's very unique. And also, when coming from Brazil, you also learn those colors, and they have meaning. And I think for every Indian American and every Indian citizen, it's so important. The saffron means strength and courage. The white band means peace and truth. The green, growth, fertility, also future success of the land. And some of those are some of the facts. And also to say that in India we have about 1.33 billion people. And it's a very, very strong economy, a strong country. I'm honored to be here today. I want to thank Sahana for the invitation. And I'm here to represent you, so use me as a resource, and I thank you.
Thank you, Representative. So now I call upon our Acton Select Board Vice Chair, Dean Charter. Dean Charter is the 5th generation of the Charter family in Acton. The property he now lives on, Charter Road, has been in the family since the early 1800s, and it is a small part of the Charter farm. Dean graduated from the Acton Boxborough Regional High School in '68 and has seen the town grow from about 3,000 inhabitants to about 21,000. Dean worked for the town of Acton for 40 years, 38 years as tree warden, and now serving as vice chair on the select board. It's not the Board of Selectmen anymore.
Thank you. On behalf of the board, I welcome you all to the 2021 India Independence Day observation and flag raising. Acton has a long history of welcoming new inhabitants, many of whom superficially are not at all like previous generations. Over the years, the early Yankees have been supplemented with successive waves of new folks moving in. And from my perspective, the transition has been seamless. Each group brings its own values and culture to graft on to the earlier stock. Each group is welcome and valued, and each group shares the desire to live and prosper in a welcoming, harmonious community. There are some interesting historical parallels between Massachusetts and India. On March 5th, 1770, British soldiers opened fire against an unruly but unarmed crowd, killing 5 and injuring several more. Prints of the Boston Massacre, engraved by Paul Revere, were heavily distributed throughout the colonies and served to focus attention on the abuses of the British government against the population. On December 16, 1773, the Sons of Liberty staged a mostly peaceful protest by storming aboard ships in Boston Harbor and dumping tea into the harbor as a protest against the tea tax levied by the British Parliament without any representation from the colonial settlers. In March and April 1930, Mahatma Gandhi led the Salt March, starting with just a few loyal followers but joined by thousands to protest the British tax on salt. Gandhi led his people to the sea to make their own salt as a protest against British rule and unfair British taxes. And at the salt works at Darsarna, the British forces ruthlessly beat peaceful marchers. News photos of that brutality were sent around the world and focused attention on the situation in India. The American people dumped British tea into the ocean, and the Indian people took their own salt from the ocean in defiance of the British. On April 19, 1775, colonial Minutemen from Acton and surrounding towns marched to Concord and presented armed resistance against the British Army, beginning the American War of Independence. Some of those from Acton marched right by this spot, and 3 who died that day are entombed in the monument right there on the common. Eventually, the United States became free after almost 200 years of British rule. On August 15, 1947, after a long struggle, India became free and independent after almost 200 years of British rule. We are here to celebrate Indian independence and to reflect upon the common heritage we share, as well as to celebrate our differences and our combined strengths. In a few minutes, my associate on the Select Board will read the official proclamation. Himaja Nagaridi is our newest member of the board and is the daughter of Indian immigrants. Himaja was raised here in Acton, and her election to the board at a very young age confirms how Acton has continued to evolve as a welcoming and diverse community. It will be my great honor to raise the India flag here on our historic common as a sign of welcome and solidarity to our new residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. The next thing, we will be honoring the US flag first, and for that I want the Iyer sisters up here to sing the US anthem, and then after that we will have the Indian anthem and the flag raising. So just a few words about Trisha and Tara who are here. For them, music is a daily commitment and favorite engagement for these teen sisters. The duo has been creating music together since they were in grade school, performing in many different cities across the country, opening at festivals and popular city shows.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so proudly held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
raising the Indian flag.
Thank you all so much for being here on such a historic day at such a historic time in our town. Indian Americans have been such an integral part of our Acton community, and it's so heartwarming to see that be recognized in this way. We're all here because we share one common thing, and that's that we love two countries, India and America. And that's what brings us here today in all our glory, right here, right now. So just really grateful, Sahana. Thank you so much for organizing this IAGB. Thank you so much for helping us mobilize this effort, not only here in Acton, but across Massachusetts, across New England, across the world, because it's so important that we recognize that America is a diverse land. It's rightfully so. And that's what makes this country so great, and that's what makes the country that we come from so great as well. So thank you so much, and I'm just truly honored to be here. And without further ado, I will go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas India is the largest free democratic country in the world, home of nearly a fifth of the world's population, and with exceptional beauty and rich cultural heritage, and whereas the Indian independence movement was led by patriots, including Mahatma Gandhi, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Deshbandhu Das, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Ghosh, Lala Lajpat Rai, Lokmanya Tilak, Bhagat Singh, Maulana Azad, Raja Gopalachari, and Sardar Patel. On their resistance methods were non-violence protest, which became a model of civil rights movements across the world, including the movement led by our very own Martin Luther King Jr. in the United States. And whereas on August 5th, 1947, India regained independence from 200 years of repressive British occupation with civil disobedience and non-violent protest. That movement became a new weapon to fight against inequality and injustice in the world. And whereas the Constituent Assembly of India created a most democratic constitution of its own, including inspirations from the American Constitution. And whereas a youthful country on the verge of its 75th Independence Day celebration, modern India has shown an unsurpassed growth in education, health, agriculture, and technology since its independence. And whereas India's Independence Day is celebrated by almost 1.4 billion people across the country with flag hoisting ceremonies, kite flying, and parades. And whereas India is the largest diaspora in the world, and over 36 million of Indian origins live in other countries, and with over 4 million people of Indian origin living in the United States, with over 100,000 in Massachusetts and hundreds in Acton, who contribute greatly to the social, economic, and civic health of our nation and our community. And whereas India is a composite civilization, an ancient nation extraordinarily unique as a cultural mosaic of people embracing a prodigious diversity of ethnic groups, religions, languages, customs, traditions, clothing, gastronomy, climatic conditions, and natural resources, and yet presenting an underlying unity. Now, therefore, the Select Board of the Town of Acton does hereby proclaim August 15th, 2021 to be Independence Day, to be India's Day, and encourage all residents to join the Indian community to celebrate and commemorate its 75th Independence Day issued this first day of August 2021 from the Acton Select Board. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today.
So before we move on to the last item in our agenda, a patriotic song, I just see that there are other board members. I thought I just saw Jim Snyder Grant here, so thank you for being here, Jim. And I also see my friend Vivian Burchell, who's running for the 14th Middlesex District. And thank you, Chakra Bokisam, for the microphones and sound, Rajiv Noharia for recording this event on behalf of ActonTV. And of course, a huge shout out to IAGB leadership and for all of you who are here, including some of the other board members, committee members, finance committee members, Asian community who are here to support us as well. Thank you so much. And now I call upon Padmaja, Vandana and Vaishnavi to sing as a patriotic song. Thank you.
So we are going to present a medley of two songs. So one is Vande Mataram and another one is Evatan Evatan.
If you know the song, sing with us, please.
Yes. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Shasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Vande Mataram, Shubhra Jyotsna Pulakitayamini, Pulla Kusumita Drumadala Shobhini, Suhaslini Sumadhura Bhashini, Sukhalam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. ऐ वतन हमको तेरी कसम, तेरी राहों में जहाँ तक लुटा जाएंगे। भूल क्या ऐ वतन हमको तेरी कसम, तेरी राहों में जहाँ तक लुटा जाएंगे। भूल क्या चीज़ है तेरे कदमों में, हम भेंट अपने सरों की चढ़ा जाएंगे। ऐ वतन कोई पंजाब से, कोई महाराष्ट्र से, कोई यूपी से है तो कोई बंगाल से, कोई पंजाब से, कोई महाराष्ट्र से, कोई यूपी से है, कोई बंगाल से। तेरी पूजा की थाली में लाए हैं हम, तेरी पूजा की थाली में लाए हैं हम, फूल हर रंग के आज हर डाल से, फूल हर रंग के आज हर डाल से। नाम कुछ भी सही पर लगन एक है, जोत से जोत दिल की जगा जाएंगे। ऐ वतन तुझ वतन, ऐ वतन ऐ वतन ऐ वतन।
I want to take this opportunity to thank Sahana. I think she's a rock star. Let's all give her a huge round of applause. Sahana made my job a lot easier. I really didn't have to do much for Acton except contact Sahana. So Sahana, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here every year in Acton. Now I'm saying every year because last year and this year. And we are going to, this is a huge shout out to the select board. Thank you so much for making this happen. And to all the Actonians for coming here and raising the Indian flag and honoring the US flag. Let's keep that positive momentum going. Let's be together. Let's aspire, achieve. Let's attempt, aspire, and achieve what Vivek said earlier. And let's continue doing that. Let's be together, team, together everyone achieves more.